wrestling fans, this is the Mega Powers podcast with myself, Magic J, and
Yo, Scandu's the Hip Hop Original, and we're back with our third episode, man. If you haven't checked out the earlier two, we did episode 1 was an introduction. Episode number 2, we talked about WWE and what's happening in there. And now we're hitting you with episode number 3. That's all about the AEW. Yeah.
yes, AEW, as you know, has been on a Usain Bolt, Linford Christie, flying high, since they launched in 2019. And I never forget when they was launching in 2019, I was sitting on my bed and I heard about this AEW, and then I'll never forget, I watched the press conference, and they had the press conference at Jacksonville football stadium.
Yeah.
American football, NFL stadium, and I saw everyone, Chris Jericho come on stage talking, everyone. I was so excited for this. So whoever watched it as well, what is your thoughts when you first saw it? How did you feel when AEW came together? Gathering a certain somebody is not part of AEW no more, and he's gone kick the F out of the W and with the E now, and I don't know.
Well, let's say what preceded the press conference. Obviously, it was the original All In, which is about 5 years ago now, and that was basically that whole thing started as a bet. Like, Dave Meltzer betted that no indie show could sell out a 10,000 seat arena, and Cody Rhodes responded with, "Yeah, I'll take that bet." And then they put on the original All In and sold it out. And that kind of kickstarted AEW. We got the press conference. They did the TV deal. They got Dynamite, and they've just been running, and
now they're with TNT.
Yeah. So within and TBS. So in short, on Warner Brothers Discovery, and on ITV, like regularly. So they're doing.
I saw it a week ago. I was in Leeds. I was chilling with my cousin. We went down to town. We came back with some food. We were sitting down. I was flipping the channel.
Yeah.
Wait! I just watched that just the other day. That was Wembley. I mean, my cousin was. What? I was like this.
Yeah.
I was like,
you gotta rate it.
AEW. So I love it.
And they're legitimately the number 2 wrestling company in the world right now. They've taken the place of WCW officially, it's officially a 2-man wrestling. That's what I'm saying. And they come and bought up all the wrestlers that WWE got rid of. So they're kind of like WWE 0.2.
It is a big competition because after WCW, it was Impact Wrestling, which is TNA, right? To me, TNA is died down. I don't know what's going on for them, because I used to watch them like a religion after WCW, and now All Elite Wrestling is like up there, like number 1, like just like how Man City won the Premiership last year. Then there was Arsenal, then there was whoever else underneath. That's what's going on right now.
And that's right, man. AEW is basically the Man City of the wrestling business. They just got a piece of money and came out of nowhere, bought up all the big stars.
Remember, the owners do own Fulham Football Club, right? And Jacksonville, is it
Jaguars, yeah. So let me ask you this question, and obviously the viewers in the comment sections, say your piece as well. Yeah, what is your thoughts on the first 4 years of AEW, man? Like, do you like their style of programming or their matches? Like, whoa.
Obviously, big up to the Khan family, yeah. Big up to the Khan family, yeah. That's a famous name as well. It's not your Khan. It's not the Khan from over down the road, or in West Ham, or in Manchester or Liverpool. I'm talking about Tony Khan and his dad. Bigged them up highly, He's always stated that he's always been a wrestling fan since he was a kid. And obviously, from being a wrestling fan, I'm probably going to WWF at the time, to E, to WCW and all those stuff where he used to go to as a child. Obviously, he had money, so he's front row. Just like that Trinidadian guy we see front Roll flag.
Yo, shout out to Skillet, man.
And Trinity.
Skillet represents for the Trinis, man. So every time I see that guy with his Trini, man, I'm busting up. You know, that Trini guy must be a multi-millionaire. He's got the same spot every single event.
Every single thing. Be up to Skillet and these people, them. But yeah. Where I say is this, yeah, like he learned from all the franchises. And obviously, because he's got the legends who are retired, who are just sitting there, smoking their cigars, drinking their beer, not doing nothing. People like Jake the Snake Roberts, who doesn't even really like snakes, and he's got even one of the Four Horsemen part of the team, and he's got the old school guys, and he's got one or two mandem who was writers for WWF or WWE. He's done an incredible job. You know, obviously at first it was a bit rocky, and then it went from being rocky to being solid. So and he came to the UK. He sold out Wembley Stadium. Who sells out Wembley Stadium apart from Beyonce about 8 years ago, or some other music artists, or even football matches? What we have over here. Who sells out Wembley? The last people to sell out Wembley as a wrestling was WWF back in 93, 94, if I remember right.
Right.
It was SummerSlam, and that was the old. Yeah, that's the old Wembley. But for a company what's been out only for 3 years, coming up to 4.
4 years, yeah. No, you got to salute that, man. And I think a lot of it came down to the hype. You know, it's just the sheer like balls of a man to say, yeah, I'm going to sell out Wembley. And they're like, what? It's your first ever show in the UK? And he was like, yeah. And on top of that, he didn't even announce the card. You didn't even know who was wrestling until like a month before the event. And he was buying it for the sake of buying it. You know, I'll be interesting to see what the viewing figures have been since All In. Like, has it been a big boost to AEW? You know, like, did that event actually win people over? You know, if you were somebody maybe that's watching this in the comments, just say, you know, was you on the fence? Was you not really an AEW fan? And you watched this event, did it win you over? You know, are you into the friendship of MJF and, you know, Adam Cole, baby? You know, is that... So it's like, you know, what is it? Has he accomplished his mission, or nowadays do people just like jumping on fads?
Yeah, just tell us, people, because to me, I saw the vision from early, and especially when I'm seeing, you know, some of my, not saying they're all my favorites, but some of the iconic wrestlers, you know, me especially, you know, I don't get me wrong, I was a Jericho fan back in WCW. Yeah, and then when he moved over to WWF, but people like him, and even being in Wembley, you know, let me tell you about the Wembley show. Yeah, it was so iconic. Yeah, that Chris Jericho brought out his group Fuzi and performed his entrance. I got the same where I am right now. I was laying down. This is my bed, people. I'm keeping it 100. I got up and I saluted because I was thinking that was hard. You get what I'm saying? So you have to give it to Tony Khan. You have to give it to, you know, Cody Rhodes. I don't really like him coming back to WWE. You know, me and you already spoke about this many times. You know, he needs to go back to AEW. He ain't doing that for me.
They were disrespecting him in AEW, man. The end of that run in AEW, they were mugging him off.
No, I love the fact that what Goldberg not done though. Even the what's the name again? Who started up with them? The tag team, the two brothers,
Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks. I like them. I like
you got to do it the other way. Do it the other way. Right.
No, but you have to give it to them, and what they've done is incredible, and you know, it's higher heights now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what other stadium is bigger than Wembley, or let's go to, you know, O2 London. I don't know how big O2 London is, you know, in Greenwich. But
Yeah, I think now for him, the next step really is he's got to do India. He's got to do the biggest markets. He's got to go. He's got to take it to Japan. He's got to do Mexico. You know, like this. We're living. What a lot of people might not be noticing right now. We're living in a golden age of wrestling right now. You know, there's so much wrestling going on. Like you got two massive companies in the States. You know, the independent scene in the UK is crazy. It's crazy. I remember I was over recently on holiday with my family to Skegness, and they had in a cricket field for a fitness event. They had pro wrestling. You know, it was like it's everywhere. You know, so it's just.
Did you get involved? Did you get involved?
Oh, I think I just missed it, bro. But if I was there, man, I definitely would have run in with a steel chair. You know, it's just. Listen, it's all about getting involved. You know, and definitely looking forward to doing more of that this year as well. Pulling up to your local indie, you know, maybe one of us can get a little ring announcer or manager's role.
So people, if you don't know any independent wrestling companies in London or even in the whole of England, Scotland, you know what I mean, or even in Ireland, because I know there's a lot of wrestlers that come from Ireland as well, you know, so top of the morning to you guys. Yeah. So, you know, holler at us, you know what I mean, you know, hit us up in our DMs, individual DMs, or on the Mega Powers podcast DMs, or even message us randomly or get our numbers somehow and just say, look, we want to invite you. You know, we will come, we will film it, we will interview you, and we will showcase you guys. You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. And that's why, and I said in the introductory episode, man, you know, these first 3 episodes, this is our humble beginnings, you know, low quality shot on Zoom, you know, with the production values, but we're going to step it up going forward. You know, we're going to be bringing in special guests, you know, and you're going to get to see, you know, more of the wrestling internet community coming together in the UK. And
there's a lot of
we may even collaborate with some folks in the States. You know, I met some guys that came over for All In, who is in the UK. And so we've made some connections there. So, you know, you never know who you're going to see jump in on the Mega Powers podcast. So, yes. Yeah. And then obviously we're going to be dropping the little clips and memes and all of that stuff on our social media.
So, let's get into it, man. Collision. Let's get Collision out of the way. Collision came. You know, it was amazing.
That's September 9th. Collision. So the one that was,
So it was on the 9th of September, Saturday the 9th of September. And you know what? Like, it was an amazing show. I'm not gonna lie. You know, what can I say about the show? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I enjoyed the first, I think, is it 9 or 10 weeks of Collision, man? You know, it's very different style to Dynamite. You know, even the Elton John intro music with the interviews at the start of the thing, like throwback to like the 80s. You know, it's more of a fun show. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Like they even had John Moxley wrestling on it like yesterday, and there was no blood. Like, so it kind of gives you that bit of that. You mentioned NWA like had come back recently, and it was kind of giving you that throwback nostalgic vibe, you know, where the matches are longer, and it's not so much flippy dippy, man. I mean, as much as I love the acrobatic stuff, you know, and but sometimes I want to see ring psychology. I want to see stories. You know, I like character development. My favorite character at the moment is Toni Storm, you know, the illustrious Toni Storm, where she does her interviews and then at the end of the interview, she walks off and throws a shoe. You know, that's just something simple like that, but literally has me in stitches.
My favorite female wrestler in AEW is Jade Cargill. Like, I can drool over her every day. Like, I know she's got a husband, what used to be an ex, was a baseball, American football player or something like that. Well, I don't care. Like, if I met her, oh
god. What Magic J game will you drop on her? Like, if you used to see, like, if Jade Cargill somehow comes across this podcast and wants to get in the you know, comment section, like, what lyrics have you got for Jade Cargill, man? Let's go viral right now.
Let's go viral right now. I'll go, yo, Jade Cargill, man. Like, you know, I'm not a superstar. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. But I've got a big heart and I'm a teddy bear. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you never had a husband, I would have loved to take you out on one date. If that's all I need is one date. One day is what I need. we don't need to stop our face with food. We can go bowling, we can go top golf and just have fun. You get what I'm saying? You know, we can take the mick and go to WWE if you want to.
Wow. He said you'll take her to the competition. Oh my goodness.
Maybe you get paid.
Wow. See, I thought you'd have said something like, Jade, I'd let you put me through a table anytime. No.
Oh yeah, that will come when she breaks up with her boyfriend. You get me? We're talking about
Jaded out here.
Talking about Jade Cargill. There was a surprise with her coming out yesterday at the end, and
Chris Statlander after saving her initially, and then just give it a.
I loved it, but I don't know, when she came in, she was a bit off a bit. Like, I don't know, it wasn't the same. Like when she done her as what we used to call it back in the days of school days, the yardie kick. We used to call it the yardie kick. Like, she done that, and I was like, no, you're a bit. You get what I'm saying? Like, is it because you've been away for like about a month? You get me? Have you been training or something? But she still looks wedge anyway. Yeah. But I know that, this week coming, is gonna be really, really good for her and for the whole AEW. But what do you think about her comeback? Because I've been waiting for a couple, because everyone was speculating that she's gonna leave for good and then turn up at WWE.
Well, see, that's the thing. But she says she's too loyal to Tony Khan, which is fine. I respect it. And the thing is, she's got dough, so she doesn't even have to wrestle. But I think, the question is, and the biggest criticism AEW's been getting in recent weeks, months, years, is that they don't know how to book a women's division. They kind of par them off, give them a little 2 matches in the middle of the event or something like that, to the point that they were filing a complaint. And then they had to put Shida winning the title in the main event of Dynamite, because they just, they're very, sometimes it's very hit and miss with the women's division, but it's difficult, man, because he's got well over 100 wrestlers on his roster, man. And
I don't understand why he signs so much for, because it's just like, for example, because I love what he's doing, but he's moving like Chelsea Football Club now, because Chelsea Football Club is signed over 1 billion players, spent over £2 billion, and they're losing. The only thing is Tony Khan is winning, but you're not allocating the wrestlers into the right spots. So even if it's a thing that you do what WWE do, have a developmental company like NXT, and have certain people there, and have certain people on their Collision, or have certain people on their other Dynamite and something, split it.
Yeah. So basically, that's what he's done with Ring of Honor. He's kind of like, with Ring of Honor, he's kind of like, that's kind of like AEW developmental system, where they've given, so they used to have, what was it, AEW Dark, and those free YouTube events. So they got rid of that when ROH got a TV deal, and so, or online deal. And so that's what he's kind of done. He's kind of split the roster. But he's
using the same wrestlers from AEW winning belts. That shouldn't work. You should have had the ones what was not really competing properly over there, letting them win belts, because no disrespect to Samoa Joe. Like, I've been watching him for years. Yeah, that's one of my guys. He's a bad man. Exactly, and he never got treated well at the After Hour company, but he's got a ring up on the belt. I don't feel he should have had that. He should have just stayed in AEW, win an AEW belt, and let whoever couldn't get the opportunity go over there. Not do it in a way like, okay, then it's like basically AEW versus Ring of Honor now.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, and I don't know what you guys watching think about this, so let us know in the comment section. What do you think about
in London, people? Sorry, guys, I'm wiping my face.
It's wild, we're sweating buckets over here, man. Sacrifices we make for the art, I mean, what do you think about AEW allowing other organizations to have their titles on their programming? So obviously you got Eddie Kingston with his New Japan Strong title. You've had people with Mexican, like when Kenny Omega had all the titles. He had AAA titles. He had a New Japan title. He had an Impact Wrestling title. Like all of those titles on AEW television. You know, it got ridiculous at one point where it just looked like every man had a belt. You know, yeah, man. Like you said, it's a bit crazy. They've given MJF a Ring of Honor tag team title at the moment. You know, which don't make no sense because he's the AEW World Champion. So it's like, have they gone a bit belt crazy? You know, do they need to dial it back a little bit?
And that's the problem because even with this collision competition business, what's his name? Penta, is it Pento Zero
Miro.
Yeah, he faced Samoa Joe. It was a good match, but I knew Samoa was gonna win anyway. Which there's some he does all these moves and so he won his match, but now he's facing now he's facing Roderick.
Yeah, speaking of final.
Roderick Strong won his match and he put on the neck brace. Like he's injured still, but we all know he's not injured. I don't know what is wrong with this guy, but that crew is doing good. You know what I mean? Him and his crew is doing good. What's it called? John Moxley is basically gonna be fighting Big Bill, who we know WWE as Big Kaz. You get what I'm saying? Like, Big Kaz is doing good. Do you know what? AEW's got their downfalls. Okay. To me, AEW's got a lot of downfalls, but I don't think they're booking the right people at the right time.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right.
And to me, the best show of all was definitely the London show, because when they do the normal shows in America, it's like they have about 6 matches and it's done.
Okay. Right.
Then you get the world's strongest man saying his little thing at the end, the final match or whatever he says at the end. You get what I'm saying? And then the match starts, then it's finished. But
wow.
But coming to say that there's a lot of things happening in AEW. What do you guys, if you guys had control of AEW, what would you put in place to make AEW showcasing live better than WWE?
That's a very good question, man. And I'll pose that between both of us. I think that'd be a nice way to wrap this up. Yeah, if you was Tony Khan for the day, and you was the booker of AEW, what would you book, and who would be your champions?
That's what I'm saying. Who would be a champion? That's a good one. That is definitely a good one. And one thing I must say as well, someone done a little shout out to Keith Lee, done a nice little shout out, RIP to Bray Wyatt. In his interview, he used the word run. When I saw that, I just laughed. I was like, salute. So RIP to Bray Wyatt, phenomenal wrestler, and Terry Funk as well, who died in the last couple of weeks. You know what I mean? But also, I want to pitch on something, because we might end up talking about it on the next episode, because I was watching an interview with Hulk Hogan. He got interviewed, and the question was, why is a lot of wrestlers dying at a young age? So if you guys want to get involved in that, that's a little segment where we could talk about, right in the description, and leave your comments, and we can read your comments on the next show. What I mean? So,
yeah, and we can answer your questions as well. If you got any questions for the Mega Powers, hit us up, man. But I think we should wrap up with our take on, obviously, the recent firing of Chick Magnet Punk.
Good.
I mean, because I it's the first time I've actually publicly spoke on it, man. I mean, what do you think about what happened?
You know what? I don't know really what actually happened in the background, because I'm not on the he say she say business. You know, it takes two to tango, and where it says is both of the individuals should come out and just say their piece on social media, even if it's on the Instagram. Just like when a footballer leaves a team and he says thank you for come out and just say what you have to say, be real, and just say what you have to say. You know, not me seeing other YouTubers putting up their videos or talking about it. But where I say is this year, you never know, he might have got driven to it. He might have got driven to whack up man and whatnot. But obviously Tony Khan don't like it. You know what I mean? If this was Vince McMahon probably would have grabbed both. Vince McMahon would have grabbed both of them in the office and start cussing both of them out. You know, Vince McMahon might get a thump in the face, you know, like what Bret Hart done to him. But, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But to me, I don't think he should have got fired. You know, I feel what should have happened was that the fight was between him and someone else.
Yeah.
They both should have got, you know, just like when you're in school and you have a fight, you get suspended, right?
Yeah.
It's for a couple of days. Get suspended for a couple of weeks, come back within the end of the month, have a meeting, air it out, talk about it. If you want to film it and put it on your social media to film on the AEW page, pull it up there, you know, to show that, look, you're having a meeting with them, look, boom, 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 and make them shake hands. If that's a start of a rivalry right there, and they're shaking their hands, yeah, but they're looking up in the air type of thing, like, whatever. Let a rivalry start then, and then they'll do like a, you know, a cage match or you know, whatever crazy match. You get what I'm saying? An ECW type style match or something. Yeah. I mean, so who knows? Because I know right now he's gonna be out for a time, or you never know. They might do a thing that they might put that, and then 2 months later he comes back.
Yeah. And you know what it is? Yeah, do you see what it is? And you know the crazy thing? Yeah, these people love gossip, man. They know how to work the wrestling community and all the bloggers and get their clicks and all of that stuff. Because you made a valid point, you know, like footballers when they leave a club, yeah, they'll issue a statement. There's been no statement from CM Punk. No thank you to the fans for my time at ACW, you know, because there was a lot of fans that were genuinely upset when he left. You know, a lot of people that paid money to come and see him for them Chicago shows, and he weren't there, you know. But the fans have been relatively well behaved. I heard a rumor that there was a CM Punk chant in India at a WWE show, so I don't know what's going to happen this week. You know, if they're trying to indicate that WWE should bring CM Punk back, you know. But I mean, I think the crazy thing is, right, if he came back to WWE, they'll manage him properly, because they've seen what he's done in AEW. He's gonna be
in WWE anyway. They know how he was. He was a champion.
He's gonna be determined to make things right, man. And I think there's the problem. The mistake AEW made is they left too much money on the table. Like him versus Young Bucks, him versus Kenny Omega would have been like main event headliners, you know. All of those things, and because of their beef outside of the, you know, in the background, if they were real professionals, they would have squashed that time ago, like, yes, and it wouldn't have come to this, you know. And the fact that they didn't squash it, and they had to give him his own show, and they had to separate the roster, you know, all of that business, man, it just fueled the fire, and you knew where it was gonna go, you know. So the fact that it's here now, mad.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely hear you. You know, is there any final thoughts on you know, the whole AEW, you know, for this week on your side?
Yeah, okay. So my final thoughts on AEW this week, you know, good set of shows, good set of pay-per-views, man. I noticed that they're focusing more on storyline, which is great, you know, and I like the little, for me as a film buff, man, I like when they show little sneaky storylines that are bubbling in between and you don't know which way it's going to go. You know, it's captivating television, you know, so I hope they keep that up. You know, they're bringing in other little characters, you know, with Roderick Strong and the Kingdom, and they're giving them time to talk and tell their stories, and we get to know these characters. You know, they're doing that more with the women's division. They're showcasing more. You know, I think as critics, man, sometimes they can be a bit too harsh on WWE and AEW. You know, sometimes you got to let things play out. You know, they're not going to knock it out the park every single week, but you got to, like, I'm sure they've built up enough credibility to earn your patience, you know. So so as far as things are going, I can't complain too much. I just want to see how it's gonna go. I can't wait to see MJF versus Samoa Joe, like when they have their mic battles. That's what he needs. Like MJF needs the top guys on the mic, like to clash. Like
You know who
garage.
what popped up on my phone, who I want to see, can't wait to see, is these two guys.
Woo! Yeah. And both belts were on the line. Both titles were on the line. Title v title.
Both titles gonna be on the line, and that's gonna be an amazing one. And that popped up straight on you know, the Mega Powers TV Twitter X. I call it Twitter X. People call it X.
So let me get your final thoughts on AEW this week, and also our social media as well.
Yeah, AEW this week, it was cool. It wasn't that bad. The highlight for me is watching collisions, both of the collisions. As I said, I catched up on the last collision. The last collision was amazing. You know, Jade Cargill once again, she stole it from me. Everyone didn't know that she was gonna come out. When she came out, everyone's like, you know, surprised. She got in the ring, and even the wrestlers who was in the ring, like, was thinking that, oh, she's gonna help me. No, she whooped their asses. Yeah, picked up that belt.
Yeah,
I said, I missed you. Kissed the belt. I miss you. Laid it down and walked out. I was like,
yeah.
So that was one of the highlights. And then obviously, as what I showed you, the you know, this fight, you know, Eddie Kingston or the belts, that's gonna be a mad one. You know what I mean? So that's my final thoughts on it. But guys, if you lot, you know, have any thoughts and opinions, please leave it in the description. You know, if you don't want us to highlight anything what we missed, please just put it in the description, or even tag us on Twitter X, or even message us on the Instagram. You know, the Twitter is, or say Twitter X or X is the Mega Powers TV, and Instagram is the Mega Powers Podcast. So please go over to those platforms. We also got a TikTok as well, which is Mega Powers TV. But everything will be in the description underneath. And you know what I mean, you know, Monday, you know, remember Monday and throughout the week, there's all sorts of wrestling stuff happening. So if you guys are watching any sort of wrestling, make sure you tag us as well. Just tag the Mega Powers Podcast. We will see it. The Mega Powers Podcast underneath whatever you're writing, and we will see it, and we will be in tune with you. Or even just tag us on Twitter X or X. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know,
wicked.
I've been
Scanduce, the hip hop original. This has been the Mega Powers. Join us back next week for episode number 4, where we expect to have some special guests that should be popping up throughout the next coming episodes. So yeah, you've had
podcast. I remember big up all the podcast people from the UK was doing wrestling, because yourself showed me a few people. A couple of them followed me already, and big up to all you guys, because we would love to have you guys on the platform, and we would love to come on your platform as well to share our knowledge, wisdom, and education on the art of wrestling.
That's right, man. Till next time. Peace.
Peace.